Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to another podcast. This is the last podcast of the Word According to Me. This is a simulcast. This is on my YouTube channel. This is also on wherever you find this podcast, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever, right? iTunes, wherever. So this is the last the Word According to Me episode. In the new year, I'm gonna start a new podcast, the AJTRIP Show. So I wanted this last podcast to be about the upcoming election and about some of the things that, for me, make this a pretty, significant election. And it seems like and when you think about Pat, it seems like we've said this ever since like the turn of the century, ever since 2000, with Al Gore and George Bush, that we kind of decided that it was like, um, that every election has been like so, it's been like the most important election ever. Each time we come around, it's the most important election ever. But this really seems like it, really does, but for a couple of reasons. One, with the Supreme Court ruling that a president can now not be, charged or anything like that for doing anything to its citizens or to its opponents or whatever. It feels like this is set up like for Donald Trump to, become the dictator that he wants to be. And if you don't think he doesn't want to be a dictator, he certainly does. And he is going to at least try to become one. He may get stopped, who knows? But he's definitely going to try to become one. And that's not what you want. This is talked about democracy, and you can have all your thoughts, and this is what I don't like. I just don't get. I don't see how all of these people have fallen into like his trap. Because yes, I understand voting for someone that you may not think is a great candidate, but because he's your party. Hell, I was going to vote for Joe Biden, and there's no doubt in my mind that if Joe Biden stayed in this race, he would have been one of the worst candidates that there ever has been. He is obviously in mental decline. He is obviously, and so many other things. Um, he's just, it's not, it just wouldn't be prudent to have him in the White House. But I was gonna vote for him if he stayed in the race because he's a Democratic candidate and he's gonna do what I want to do to the party. So I understand people voting for Trump because he's going to do the things that he wants done, because it's done along party lines. I think Lady Gaga's father was on Fox News. I think he said something to that point that Trump's paraphrasing, but he's a shitbag, and but he's going to put in the policies that I want as a Republican. So I voted for him. Megyn Kelly said it this past weekend on Bill Maher's show that and of course Trump and Megyn Kelly they have that obviously past where he just really talked her down and did everything like that, made fun of her, did all of that stuff to her. But she's still voting for him because of the policies that she wants to have done. And she has certain things that she thinks that Trump is going to do that the other candidate would not do. So that's just what it is, right? I totally understand that. But again, like I was saying, I just don't see why people like follow him and actually think that he is like he is it. He is the man, and he's like anything. Sure, go ahead and vote for him, but tell it like it is. This guy is not, he is not going to be a he is not a just a ridiculous human being, and he has everything in the world, but I'm going to vote for him because he's along party lines, and I want to keep my guns, and I don't want to pay high taxes, and anything like that. Um, and that's totally ups and fine. But don't act like that he is some savior, because he isn't. He's not a savior to this country. He's not a savior to this, to the political world, or the savior of the Republican Party. He isn't. I just don't see how people don't see this. I really don't. And I'm going to show you in a second, for those of you guys who are interested, in why, it really comes down to 4 states. It really comes down to 4 states: Wisconsin, Michigan, um, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. It really comes down to those 4 states, really. And whoever wins those 4 states, if everything stays, the way it should stay, whoever wins those 4 states, or win 3 of those 4 states, are going to be the president. So, but I really think, I implore people who are watching this. If you're a Democrat, you're going to vote. Oh, maybe not actually. There's been a lot of talk about people leaving the Democratic Party, um, especially people of color, and I'm very surprised at people leaving the Democratic Party. And the reasons why. The reasons why, um, kind of like don't surprise me in a bit. It is a lot of um, things of just going way too far left on certain topics or certain subjects, and just wanting, you know, things to be ridiculously, put on without any caveats, without any common sense, thinking about certain things. I can understand that. I feel that way as well. But I don't think I'm going to go to the other party, or become an independent and vote Democrat. I think they're still the best ones who are going to do what's best for this country, and not the Republicans. So, you have to say it. There are Democrats who are looking at the Democratic Party now and saying, "Why should I stay? What is this doing for me?" And that's a little bit surprising in a way. So, but I would say if you're one of those Democrats who are feeling, this disenchanted with the Democratic Party, if you're an independent who, feels that way about the Democratic Party, if you're a Republican who, really doesn't like Trump, but doesn't think the Independent Party, doesn't think the Democratic Party, is better enough so that you would vote for that, I would beg for you to please, change your mind. Do not sit at home and not vote. Do not go out and vote for the ridiculous third party candidates. I just don't get this. There's never going to be a third party candidate ever who is going to be viable enough for the presidency. It's never going to happen because you have to try to fill two sides, right? You have to try to get the people on the conservative side and get the people on the liberal side. And I don't think that's going to happen. You're going to have someone who says that abortion should be legal and everything like that. That will prop up the liberals but take down the conservatives. And you're going to have someone that's going to say, you know, gun, everybody should have a gun and there should be no gun laws, and so that's going to up the conservatives but then take down the liberals. I mean, there's never going to be a third party candidate who is going to be middle enough to reach both parties or middle enough to reach the majority of the people on the right and people on the left who are more center and would vote for the middle right. I don't think that's ever going to happen, at least not in our lifetime. So please do not vote for any of these third party candidates. Go, please go out and vote for Kamala Harris. And it's just, this is just a big election. It just is. And we can't let this guy take office. We can't give him the opportunity to even try and become a dictator. And people on the left think that some of the things that the Democrats are worried about isn't going to happen. They're not going to take away abortion, states' rights for abortions. They're not going to. Trump is not going to become a dictator. Trump is not going to, he's going to, do this. He's going to be a part of a war or anything like that. He is not going to oversee another pandemic that kills millions of people. And maybe that one might be the case. But I really think you're fooling yourself if you don't think he's not going to try to take total and full control. And the policies that he's going to implement. I saw something last night that RFK Jr. said that Trump told him that he's going to. God, I can't stand no calls happen. So where was I? Robert Kennedy Jr. was he was saying that Trump was going to put him in charge and all of the health organization things and things like that. A guy who's an anti-vaxxer, and he's gonna be put in charge of the health stuff. No, who claims to have a worm in his head who ate part of his brain. No, we can't have that. Now listen, I have my issues with the abortion thing and everything like that. I have my own personal issues, my own personal thoughts about it, anything like that. However, there are certain things that come with that are being taken away. And I saw on Twitter again that there was something that a woman down in Texas, where it's obviously illegal, died because she couldn't get the health stuff so that she could get the abortion, and doctors wouldn't do it, or they took too long to get to her, and she died because of her condition. And there's a lot of things about IVF treatments which help people who want to have families, who may not be to help them have families, help them have kids. There's things with that. There's so much stuff that Trump gets in the office will be taken away, and that's just something that we can't have happen. We just can't. So I think we need to try to come together one last time, Democrats, Independents, and Republicans, and try to make sure that he does not get into office this time. Now he may run again in 4 years. Who knows? I have a feeling that if Kamala Harris were to win, not only is he not going to take the results, he's going to deny the results. He's going to claim fraud and everything like that. And his little lackeys will as well. But he may try again in 2028, which would be insane. Insane. I'm telling you, he is not going to stop until he gets into office. And at least you need to try to stop him this time. And then worry about it in 2020. Hopefully things will change his mind. Hopefully people with the Republican Party will get a little bit tired of him and go and find and go and select other people to run for the Republican Party. And then maybe we can have a more forethought out election in 2028 than we're gonna have this year. So let me throw to I think I recorded kind of showing you why Minnesota, Wisconsin, Ohio, not Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, and Pennsylvania are probably the most important states, in this election. And why, not only do you need to vote for Kamala Harris, but you need to vote for the entire Democratic Party. Because if you are a non-Trumper, he could still possibly become president if nobody gets to 270. And I'll explain it to you in this video right now. Okay, folks, so what I'm about to show you is why Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania are like the most important states in this election, at least in my opinion. We're taking a look at the 2020 electoral map when Biden won the election. He won some states that you didn't think he would win, like Arizona, Georgia, things like that, right? He won those states along with winning Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. And that's how he went and won the election in 2020. Let's go back to 2016 when why did everybody do a fucking podcast? They want to start blowing these fucking things around. Jesus fucking Christ! If you're hearing things in the background, I apologize. This is just crazy. They have to do it in the morning. You can't do this in the evening. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm just gonna try to power through this. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear me. So, this is the 2016 map where Trump won and beat Hillary. You see, again, the states, Wisconsin, Michigan, carries Ohio, and Pennsylvania, all four of those states, and then also Georgia and Arizona. So as we look ahead to this 2024 election, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back to the 2016 map. So she had Washington, all of these, right? Let's see. Let's make sure. She had Nevada, had Colorado, and New Mexico. That's kind of interesting. It's interesting. She had Illinois. She had New York. She had all of the. I don't know why they're going red. Okay, so but she had all of the, of course, Northeast. Right. And then she had Virginia, DC. All right, let's look down here. So let's see. Right. So DC. Uh, one was remained with red. Uh, he had all of Nebraska. Like that. She had Hawaii. He had Alaska. Correct. Of course he did. Yeah. And then I could put in all of the stuff that he had. Most notably normal. Right? I think that's pretty much it, right? Yeah. So, as you can see, I'm not giving Kamala Harris Arizona. I'm not giving her Georgia. Those are states that I think they're pretty much, I think maybe you can go back through in the entire nation, have most likely they've been red for at least for as long as I can remember. Right? And they've always talked about like Florida and Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan being the battleground states, but I think now Florida is just it's just always red. I don't think there's any chance of a Democrat holding Florida. Um, so I do think you take that Florida out of the thing, that's going to be the Republican uh, held state. Just like California, just like Illinois are going to be in New York, and most of the northeast are going to be Republican. We're going to be Democratic held states. But then we have here, we have these four battleground states. That's why they spend so much time in these states: Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin. So we know that Donald Trump held all four states, and he won the election, and that was in 2016, right? So that's what happened, and now he's get these states here. Um, and we look at the 25 election. Biden won three of those four states, and he also held Arizona and Georgia. Again, I'm not giving Kamala Arizona or Georgia. So see, three of those states, Kamala Harris just barely beats Donald Trump, and that doesn't really matter. As long as she gets to 270, she becomes the president, right? So what happens if they like share if they split states 2 and 2? Well, I think it depends. I think if they split any states, let's see, let's get to Michigan. Donald Trump wins Michigan. So let's see, Donald Trump wins Pennsylvania. Donald Trump wins. If Donald Trump wins Wisconsin, Donald Trump wins. So if Donald Trump, so let's say Kamala Harris wins Ohio and wins Pennsylvania, and then this bam, he wins. You know, I think let's see, we take Ohio, take out Pennsylvania, put in Michigan, he wins. Take out uh, Michigan, put in Wisconsin, he wins. Now there is something where Kamala Harris and Donald Trump may not get either one may not get to 270. So let's see how does that happen? I think here I think is it so I think if we give him 19 um I was doing this last night. But there was a way that by doing Hawaii, it's not Hawaii blue. Okay, I think that was the issue here. So um, okay, so Jesus Christ. So okay, so I had this down last night, and it doesn't seem to be working. I can't remember which ones it was. So, um, so maybe I was wrong. Maybe I did it wrong, and maybe I was, you know, fast. So that's on me. But the reason why I wanted to do this was because the way I did it last night, there was a way where Kamala Harris had 267, and I think Donald Trump had 263, and Donald Trump wasn't, and neither one made it to 270. So what happens when you go? What happens when you get to 270? What happens with that? Well, then that goes to the House, the Congress, and this is like the big thing about this whole podcast thing that I'm doing is because I think many people have started to talk about like voting for Kamala Harris. You know, we need Democrats need Republicans and Independents to vote for Kamala Harris. You know, but I think you need more than that because you need to vote for people in the House of Representatives as well. And trust me, there's a couple people, Democrats in the House of Representatives that I don't like. The squad, right? Don't like them at all. But unfortunately, right now, I think we need them because if we do get to a point to where Kamala Harris and or Donald Trump do not make it to 270, it goes to the House. And the House is majority of Republicans. So if the House is majority Republicans, they will vote in Donald Trump as the president of the United States. So that's why if you're a Democrat, if you're an independent, and if you're a Republican who are voting for Kamala Harris for president, you need to vote for your state's representatives Democratic as well. At least this first time. And I know that we, the Democrats, have asked a lot of the independents and the Republicans over these last, 8 to 12 years when it came to Donald Trump and voting against him and voting, putting country over party. And they did. And in the last election in 2020, many of you guys did that. And I think we can't thank you enough. But we need you one more time here. Because, and even though I don't know why, but even if it comes down to where there are no one candidate gets to 270 is going to go to the House of Representatives. So we kind of need you to vote not only for Kamala Harris as the president, but also vote for the House of Representatives. So that just in case, if that happens, then that's, it's going to go to Donald Trump. Being able, or it's going to go to Kamala Harris if if you do that and you make it more Democrats than Republicans. Now, also, there's also the way here. Listen, whoever holds 3 out of the 4 states, I think, and listen, you can pick any one, either any of these 3 states. Kamala Harris has to hold 3 of these 4. Because again, if she holds any 2 of them, only 2 of them, I can get 2, and everything else right here stays the same, stays like it was in 2016. Donald Trump is your president of the United States again. So if you're someone that doesn't want that, then I think not only especially in these 4 states where you may be watching. Go out on Tuesday, November 5th. Vote for Kamala Harris. Vote for your um your representatives democratically, and hopefully for those independents and Republicans, you can be more judicious in who you choose to vote for. Vote for the candidate that you may actually want to vote for, than the candidate you feel like you need to vote for, come the 2028 election. And hopefully he will not run again. Although with his ego, if he loses this one, he may actually run again. And that would just be ridiculous. He is not going to stop until he gets back in that office, possibly. And we have to try to do something within the legal realms. You're not calling for any type of violence or anything like that against a former president. That is sickening and repulsive, and the people who have been doing that do not represent anybody, who is a sound mind and body. We don't want him in office. We don't want him dead. So, yes, as you can see, November 5th is big. So let's go out. Let's vote. Let's vote for Kamala Harris as a president. Let's vote Democratic for your representatives in the House of Representatives, so that just in case someone doesn't get to 270, the House of Representatives can make the right choice for Kamala Harris. So there you have it. There was my little take on why we get the most important states, why you need to not only vote for Kamala Harris, but you need to vote for the state representatives, for the House of Representatives. Some people may talk about policy, right? That's what it's talking about. It's policy, reason. Maybe Kamala Harris doesn't have good policy. And maybe that is the case, right? Maybe she doesn't have good policy. Maybe some of the things that she thinks can happen won't happen. But at least maybe for this, I won't say one time because we did that in 2020, maybe even done that in 2016. But again, there's something I think that maybe while policy is great to have, and you want to have a great policy, you want to have great ideas, you want to have a great sense of a candidate, that they're going to be, a good president for everybody. To make sure that we flourish as a people, we flourish as a country. I think that's totally fine. And again, any other time, I would think, vote for who you think has the best policy. And I will always tell you, I never spend any. I don't hesitate in saying that I think Democrats have the better policy. I would always say that, and when I tell you to go vote, I will always tell you to go vote Democrat. That's just how I am. I'm not one of these people that will tell you, make sure you go out and go vote. No, I'll say make sure you go out and you vote Democrat. That's what I will always do. That's what I will always say on these platforms and on social media and everywhere else, right? But this is something that I don't know if policy even comes into this, because of what Trump could try to become. It's worried, I think. I don't even know if I was worried in 2020. I don't even think I was worried in 2020 about what he was, what he would do. Well, actually, I was, because I was worried that he would, he would keep policies in place to not, try to do this, do things you need to do to try to calm down COVID and make sure that COVID is spread away. And now, look at it, COVID for the most part is pretty much gone. You know, it now has become kind of a flu type thing where if you get a shot for it, a vaccine for it, another reason why we can't do it, because if our kids gonna get rid of the vaccines for COVID and all the other things that we need vaccines for, then we're gonna end up being a bunch of sick people again. There's like that. So, and then all of the race stuff that's going on in 2020. As stuff continued, I was fearful that he might attack the people and attack the American people, and I'm worried he's gonna attack the American people now again. So yeah, it's about the same, but I think it does feel a little bit more dire than ever. So listen, I don't want to take too much longer with this, because to me, I think this is you can vote for people who are gonna have your policies, and I understand it, but I feel that this election is just way more about policy. It's way more about policy. It's way more about life. And your life, whether you believe it or not, will turn upside down if Trump becomes president again. And in 2 years, you may be regretting your decision of believing anything that man has said. You may regret your decision of believing anything you think that man was going to do. That he was just going to, put in your policies and not put in the other things that would cause you to have your life be upheaved in any way. So, my final stance on this is yes, go out, vote for Kamala Harris. Tuesday, November 5th, when election day is there. Go out there and vote, and not only vote for Kamala Harris, but vote when it comes to the House of Representatives, democratically as well, for just in case. And again, I apologize. I did it last night. I had it where Kamala had like 267 and Donald Trump had 263 or something like that. I know what I did. Maybe I didn't have a state cover or something like that. I'm not sure, but I do believe there is a chance that there is a time where they could not be at 270. And if that does happen, it goes to the House of Representatives, and then they will elect the president. And that's why you need to vote Democratic in the House of Representatives, so that, and I'm not fond of a lot of Democrats in that one as well. I'm not a big fan of some of those Democrats. I think they're way far too left, and they have incredible, ridiculous thoughts and things, and anti-Semitism, and a lot of the other kind of stuff that should not be anywhere near Congress. And I really wish the primaries would have taken care of that. It did in one spot. It took care of it in one spot, not in a lot of the other spots, unfortunately. But yeah, vote for your House of Representatives democratically as well. All right, folks. Yeah, if you got comments, post them down below. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know what you guys feel about this. And yeah, again, make sure you go out November 5th, Tuesday, and not only vote, but vote Democrat. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And as this is my last episode of the Word According to Me podcast, I want to thank everybody who has listened to the Word According to Me podcast. Listen to any episode, listen to all the episodes, whatever you have. I appreciate it so much. I hope that you will listen to the AJTRIP show once that starts in the new year, my new podcast. So I hope you will listen to that. And I am